Right now on Weather Nation, we've got severe thunderstorms moving through the northeast. We're taking a look at Rochester and Syracuse, where we've seen a lot of rain this morning, and we're expecting some thunderstorms moving through some of these regions as well. As we take a look at Viper radar, we are seeing we have an active tornado warning, so we want to get you the latest information on that right now. Thank you for joining us here at the top of the hour. Now, again, this tornado warning is for Delaware County and New York State. That's just south of the Walton area, the Hamden area, not quite within the warning, or might be just right on the very edge of that warning. But this is a radar indicated threat. Whenever we say that, we mean that we look at the winds, the velocities here, and we can see that there had been some rotation. If we wind this back just a little bit, you see that there was far more rotation just to the east of the Hancock area, and as it's evolved, as it progresses through on its northeastward trajectory, we've started to see that mesocyclone, that rotation within the thunderstorm, has begun to weaken a little bit, so that is some good news. But of course, this is something we want to keep an eye on because we haven't seen any debris with it yet. If we did see debris, that would usually confirm a tornado, but just looking at this, we really don't see anything that would really stand out that would show that we've seen a tornado picking up debris from the ground. So as we wind it back a little bit, really nothing really standing out. We usually look for a drop in a very small location in some of these colors. It usually gets into the grays and blues, but fortunately we're not seeing any of that. Looking on the barren triple threat here, we do see the purple is some hail with that thunderstorm as well. 1-inch hail estimated by radar, and that is what that greater severe thunderstorm warning is, just surrounding that tornado warning for 1-inch hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. So we could still see some impacts from this storm, even if we haven't seen a tornado confirmed with it just yet. A more broad view, we do see several severe thunderstorm warnings from the Syracuse area all the way down towards the Scranton area. Now, I want to take a look here across some of the northern storms, as we've seen up to 70-mile-per-hour winds possible with these storms. This is south of the Watertown area. It is moving towards your direction, Watertown, so not within the warning at the moment, but it is going to be heading your way, so I want to keep that in mind. But Richland, you're up next for those high winds. We see this line, that very intense line of precipitation, probably some hail within that, but again, that's warned for 70-mile-per-hour winds. Could be very intense winds. Also, way up to the far north, we see Cornwall under a severe thunderstorm warning as well. As we take a look at the radar, we've got Franklin County in New York, so that's where we're looking at the potential for 60-mile-per-hour winds and 1-inch hail. Now, that's the baseline for severe, and that's what most of these are warned for. Just east of the Utica area there, we see a couple of warnings for, again, some very large hail, or possibly large hail up to 1 inch in diameter, and 60-mile-per-hour winds. As we look at some of the local radar features, we can really see some more of that detail. This is out of the Binghamton area, where Binghamton, you're also in a severe thunderstorm warning. Looking at the barren triple threat product here, we don't see any of the wind factors here. That would be getting into the reds and the oranges, but half-inch hail is possible with this, at least estimated by radar, but it could still grow as it falls through the clouds, so that could be another thing we could see, 1-inch hail in diameter. Down towards the Scranton area, so again, following the Interstate 81 corridor, yet another long severe thunderstorm warning. Basically, whenever we have thunderstorms like this that are really getting going, sometimes they just warn the entire line because any one of these individual cells could be producing quite fast winds, 60 miles per hour, possibly getting faster as they continue to progress. You can see some of those brighter colors there. That's actually heading up towards the radar in the Binghamton area. So we could see some very fast winds moving through that 81 corridor. Looking a little farther south now, we see around Allentown and even all the way down into parts of coastal Virginia. Now, that's outside of the severe thunderstorm watch that we have had around this region, but still a wide area around this pretty populated Hampton Roads, Norfolk, Virginia Beach, all these areas within that severe thunderstorm warning. So just the southern end of this line feeling a little bit more intense. That's going to go until 2:15. Also take note, all of the lightning we have seen with this, 143 strikes you see there behind me, that's just within the last 10 minutes. So that's telling us that we've got very vigorous updrafts and that these storms are likely going to remain. Our last stop is going to be right here in northern North Carolina. A couple of thunderstorms that have been coming through, heading back towards the I-85 corridor, just to the north of the I-40 corridor there. Those were previously warned with severe characteristics within the last hour, but fortunately those are weakening. Let's take a look out at some video out of New York State, King Ferry, New York, where we saw, wow, bright flash of lightning there, where we've seen some extensive thunderstorms in this region. We do have, like I mentioned, a severe thunderstorm watch out across much of New England, and we've seen earlier today some video here out of State College with some hail coming down and some very heavy rain to boot. Taking a look at that watch, it's getting through most of eastern parts of New York State, through most of New Jersey, the very eastern part of Pennsylvania. Earlier it was more central Pennsylvania. It's been trimmed back and added onto all of the state of Vermont there and parts of Connecticut and Massachusetts as well. So several different factors with this. And we've also seen recently a new severe thunderstorm watch has been issued for coastal Virginia and coastal Carolina, all the way back to the Piedmont regions as well. We've got a slight risk into the Carolinas, the enhanced risk right here across coastal New England and into parts of New York as well. The wind potential, fortunately, has actually diminished from what we saw earlier this morning. We had up to the 45%. They've trimmed it back at the Storm Prediction Center to the 30%. So that is some good news. Some of those parameters not coming together quite as much. Same thing for the tornado threat, a little bit of a lower threat as we head throughout the parts of the afternoon here. Looking through this forecast, we continue to see that line push through into the evening hours. New England, you're going to be seeing more of that storm activity later into the evening, so 6 to 9 p.m. time frame. As we head overnight, that should eventually push out to the coast. Things are going to clear up as we head into the start of the morning. Rainfall, we could see about 1 to 2 inches of rain in some places, but we want to get you back out to Viper radar now. Another look at some of those warnings around the area. A tornado warning has been canceled, but still ongoing severe weather we will be tracking right here on Weather Nation.